Okay, hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Kushal, and I am going to today talk to you about a single line which actually moved me to making this video. Okay, so this video is a part of a blog hop, weekly blog hop, which has been hosted by Mothers Gurukul and Growing with Nimit, and yeah, so let's just get on with it. Um, Right. So let me start. When I got the list of prompts, right? So there was this one single line which really intrigued me right from the beginning, and I knew exactly that this is what I'm going to write about. This is what I'm going to research about. And now that I've finalized my content and I was about to, I was on the verge of pushing the publish it button. I know exactly why I was so attracted to this prompt. And here is the most difficult part of this video, which is a confession. I think it resonated well with me because I need to work on it big time in my life. So here I am, confessing and starting my journey on this aspect. So, since I'm a very big fan of this book, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, I know I have attracted this energy from the universe because yes, I was struggling on implementation part of on a lot of my goals and plans. I've been thinking about that one big breakthrough which will help me break my shackles and move out of my comfort zone and go ahead and fearlessly execute whatever plans that I had in my mind. And let me also confess that these plans were not just work related. There are a lot of things in my personal life as well which is at a stagnation at this point. My personal development goals, the health goals, relationship and parenting goals. So all of this, I was feeling that inertia in my life. With this, with saying all this, let me also add a little bit here. I am extremely blessed, and I would say abundantly blessed on all these areas that I just mentioned. But I would not shy away from accepting that there is this little voice at the back of my head which keeps on telling me to try out new things and better my life, and and live my life fully, so that I can just very confidently come out and say that yeah, I'm living my life to the fullest, right, with no regrets. So yeah, so that's the purpose of this video. Let's get started. So the prompt that I was given, which I chose, was: knowing is not enough, we must apply our learnings in the life. Now, I'll just share in a couple of seconds that the research on this subject definitely did involve googling, but I would say that that was just a very minimal part of it. I had to actually get back to my MBA, read all the motivation theories, the psychological, behavior aspect of it all, and what are the steps of execution, and how do we actually, you know, deal with the change which is coming in our life, or which we are forced, to bring in our lives. So yes, that was one part of it. Another aspect of this whole content that I've created is that I was forced to get inside my own self. Okay, I was forced to introspect and figure out what exactly is the missing element, um, as far as implementation is concerned, right? So yeah, I mean, deeper. I was this involved, getting in my head and heart, and listening to that little voice. So let's just get started. Why is it that we know things, and then we know the right things, and we still do not apply that knowledge in our life? When I asked this question to myself, my first level of answer which I gave was that I don't apply things because I'm not motivated enough to apply these learnings in my life. Well, that's a great answer, I must say, right? But the next moment, right, when I was researching further on this, I stumbled upon a video by Mel Robbins. Okay, for those of you who don't know, she's a motivational speaker, and she's a mom of 3 kids, and she is a very renowned, name in the U.S. arena, in the U.S. Motivational speakers circle, right? She's a very popular TED Talk speaker as well, right? So. and she's an author as well. So I would in fact suggest that if you got a little time, on your hand, so I would definitely give the link of the video which I saw and which motivated me to talk about her in this video. So just go ahead and watch that video, because she's sharing some really powerful insights, which brought me to this thinking stage. So yes, so Mel Robbins, she says that. This video basically talks about why motivation is a big garbage, basically. And yes, you heard it right. We talk big things about motivation, and she herself is the master of motivational speakers, and she's saying these words, why motivation is a garbage. Now, okay, just one second. So yeah, so she says that motivation is something which doesn't work when we actually want it, or when we actually require it the most. She says that we all believe in this false lie, and an assumption that we have to feel ready, to implement the change, and there'll be some point in our life when we'll be extremely confident of bringing about that change, and when we'll know exactly, like, this is the time when I have to take the right actions. And the only thing which is missing in this puzzle of implementation is motivation. So this is the lie that we have, or this is a false assumption that we believe in. Now, further in the video, she talks about that this exactly is not true, and she will tell you why. And in fact, I will make it simpler for you. And she says that because our brains are not wired to do things which are a little uncomfortable, or more uncomfortable, which are hurtful, which are unpredictable, and which have a risk of failure, right? So anything which takes us out of our comfort zone, right, is something that our brains would not want us to do. So basically, our brains would want us to keep to keep us safe and secure, in a comfortable environment, right? Now, of course, if you want to bring about any change in the results that you're getting in your life, or any change on your health front or your relationship front, the tasks that are involved or the goals that you make are never going to be easy, right? So once they're not easy, our brain is completely in the opposite team, right? So our brain is not working in our favor at that moment. Okay, so she also says that she also explains that whenever we are in the process of making that what do you call, resolutions, let's say that I'm going to start my workout from tomorrow, right? You will write it down, or you will just create those intentions. Our brain would actually help us, okay, initially remind us about our intentions and remind us about what are the right things that we need to do. Okay, now the brain has done its part. We listen to it, we don't listen to it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, or even a microsecond later. Our brain, when there's a slightest thought in our mind that, oh my god, it's so uncomfortable, it's so hot outside, how can I go to exercise today, right? Or my son is not well, I think it's not the right time for me to start exercising. I'm just giving you, a couple of examples from my life. That's what I do. So the slightest thought of this would trigger the brain to consider the very intentions as threatening to us, because we are trying to move out of our comfort zone. And once you heard that voice from the brain, you will be seeing yourself watching television, mindlessly, or sitting and eating junk, or doing any other chore which is not adding value to you, and forgetting about your intentions and goals which you made an evening earlier that you're going to start your exercise, right? So that's how our brain works. So we cannot say that, it's not right for us on our part to say that brain is in the other team, because it did its part by reminding us about the right things. There is definitely an inner voice, and I have completely felt it in my life. Whenever I plan to be off the junk food, or whenever I plan to start exercising, or whenever I plan that I will not yell at my kids or scream at my kids, the first thing that hits at the back of my mind is, when I'm picking up a piece of junk, is that, oh no, Kushal, you decided. Okay, and then I just overlook that and then go ahead and start being in my comfort zone. Brain is happy, I'm happy, and my goals are gone for a toss. So that is what is the science behind behind this, theory. Now, so what do we do actually? So if that's the case, if that's how our brain behaves, so what are we supposed to do? Um, Again, Mel Robbins, this video is actually dedicated to her. So um, she says that, what differentiates us from all the 4%ers. 4%ers are people, who would be taking action and creating results. So these are the people whom you look up to. Oh wow, this guy has done it. This guy has lost weight. Let's say 15 kgs in last 3 months. Or this guy is making so much of money online, right? Or this person is able to speak so well. Let's say, right? So all those ideals that you have, these are the people who have gone out of their comfort zone and created those results in their life. But they have gone through the same process as we've discussed earlier. So what differentiates these 4%ers from us is the thoughts. And as I said, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's the 5-second rule. Even Mel Robbins talked about also in her video. So you just have to train your brain to hear the first voice that the brain tells you, which is, you created those intentions. This is the right action for you. Hear that and leave aside the rest of the thoughts. Do not give yourself that much time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch yourself and go ahead and do the action. Okay, that's the key. Okay, so yeah, I mean, and I think I have missed out one thing from my notes. Yes, so just an add-on, so basically 4%ers are different from us. We don't have less of knowledge at all. In fact, knowledge is something which is so readily available these days. Like knowledge is just a Google away, right? That's how I would like to put it. So knowledge and awareness is not an issue. The issue is that knowledge and action gap, which we need to close, by not giving our brain a feed of a thought which will give you 1,000 reasons to not go ahead and act basically on your goals. Okay, so that's been my learning basically on this subject, and I wanted to share it with all of you. Here is a big thanks to Mel Robbins for being the sense-making motivator. You are doing a great job, and I'm learning. I learned a lot from your one video that I saw. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and yes, the link is below. You can go and watch her full video here. Thank you so much.